back to Pete's Classic Cocktails. Today I'm going to be making for you the Fancy Free. Now the Fancy Free is maybe not so well known, but it definitely qualifies as a classic cocktail. It's a variation on the Old Fashioned. So instead of using sugar syrup, which is typically what you use to sweeten an Old Fashioned, we're going to be using this amazing stuff here. This is Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. More on that in a minute. Let's get started making this. So, main ingredients: bourbon, liqueur and bitters. So we're going to start by adding the bitters to the mixing glass. Angostura bitters, 2 or 3 dashes. Try not to hit the side of the mixing glass like I just did. It's fine, it will run down. And there's some orange notes in this. You notice some oranges here as well. So we're going to be using orange bitters. Just a couple of dashes. Now let's move on to the liqueur. So this is made from cherries, not just the cherry fruit, but the stones or cherry pith as well. So that gives it a nice bittersweet flavour, complex, and it really complements the bourbon, helps bring out a lot of the sort of oaky vanilla notes in the bourbon. They just go really well together. You don't need a lot of this stuff, which is just as well because it costs £30 a bottle. You can probably get it cheaper, but it's quite hard to come by. But it's well worth it. You don't need a lot of this stuff. You need just a half ounce or about 15 mils. And just lastly, we're going to add our bourbon. I'm using Maker's Mark. Obviously you could use another bourbon or even a rye whiskey would work pretty well. So we're going to put a nice stiff measure of bourbon in here. 60 mils or 2 ounces. No wonder I'm going through this bottle quickly. And let's try not to spill it. So there we've got the main ingredients. And we're going to add some ice. I'm a bit short on ice. Unfortunately I had a bit of a mishap earlier, so I'm hoping we got enough. I think we do. So we're going to take a bar spoon and give this a nice stir. You want to stir it nice and fast, but not too rough. You don't want to break the ice, you don't want to get any ice shards in there. Give it a stir for about 20 seconds should be enough. You should be starting to get really lovely aroma of the mixture there. And now we're just going to put some fresh ice in our glass. Okay, so we're going to use a Hawthorne strainer to strain the drink mixture into the glass. There we go, so all it needs now is the garnish. And some people like to use a mixture of orange and lemon in an old fashioned. Because this is a variation on old fashioned, I'm going to do something slightly different. So we're going to cut a kind of disc of orange here that we're going to flame. Now, it's kind of coin size, in fact it's quite often called a coin. And what we're going to do is flame this with matches. Now you don't want to use a lighter for this, you want to use matches because the butane from the lighter would make this smell pretty bad. So you basically just want to hold the flame over the match like this, just let it burn a little, and then quickly, whoa, okay, well that worked. That was me expressing the zest and lighting at the same time. That was supposed to happen, believe it or not. And then you just want to rub the slightly burnt caramelized zest around the edge of the glass here, and then just drop the coin in there like that. So there you have it, the Fancy Free. Cheers. It's a fantastic drink for autumn. It's just got these lovely warm notes. You've got the cherry, the burnt orange, the oak. It's just amazing. And this is actually my second, I'm going to admit that now. After I made the first, I realised the camera wasn't working. But that's no bad thing. Good to have two of these. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for another classic cocktail.